The tight ends are the best position group on Syracuse football for next season.
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And on this week's Poll Friday, I asked you guys the question, which position group do you think is the best on Syracuse football? And I gave you guys three choices, right? Running backs, tight ends, and defensive backs, but also a bonus fourth choice, which was other, which could be linebackers, quarterbacks, whatever you want to say. That's why I put the other in there. But in my opinion, the three best were the running backs, the tight ends, and the defensive backs. And the results are in for this week's Poll Friday. 290 total votes this week. And about 70% of you guys said that the tight end room is the best on this team. And I agree with you guys. The tight ends are the best. In second place, close second, was running backs. In third, defensive backs. And in fourth place was other. So here's why I believe the tight end room is the best out of all the position groups on the team for next season. It starts with Oronde Gadsden, right? Obviously, in 2022, he set the Syracuse football tight end record with the most receiving yards in a single season. He nearly cracked 1,000, and he has a decent chance of doing that for this upcoming season. It starts with him. He is the best player on the team, and he is also the player who has the most NFL draft hype on this team. But it's not just Gadsden, right? There's also Dan Villari, who is, quite honestly, the best way to describe Dan Villari is the college version of Taysom Hill. He's a converted quarterback from Michigan. He can throw it. He can run it. Remember, he won ACC Running Back of the Week against Pitt last season. Okay, so he can do everything. Obviously, now his primary position is tight end. So he can do a little bit of everything. He provides a different element to this offense for this upcoming season. You got Max Mang there, who's there for blocking for the most part. And then, of course, Jamie Tremble, a lot of hype around him. He is a 2024 four-star recruit heading into Syracuse. He's just waiting in the wings because, honestly, the tight end room is so strong that they don't have to force him into action. The best way to put it is if he's ready, great, then he can play. But if he's not quite ready or there's areas where he can really improve, the luxury is there that he can sit, and there's no worry that he can sit. They don't have to force him on the field if he is not ready. Now, coming up, I'm going to talk about why the other position groups, while strong, just don't quite compare to the tight ends. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games, and the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. And if you're itching for football season just like I am, we're so close, just a few weeks away. Well, guess what? FanDuel has the odds for Syracuse's first game against Ohio, and the Orange are 17.5-point favorites to get the W. You think the Orange are going to cover? Well, you can bet it right now on FanDuel. If you want to play it a little bit safer, Syracuse's money line is minus 950. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. It's one thing to watch baseball on TV. That at times can get pretty boring, but going to a game in person is an awesome experience, and I'm looking forward to watching the Mets for the rest of this summer. The way I'll watch them in person is by using Gametime. Gametime is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. All you have to do is go to Gametime and search the team you want to see of your choosing. It can be MLB or any league for that matter, and ticket options will appear right away. My favorite part is the all-in pricing feature. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So here's why the tight ends stand out from the rest of the pack. A reminder, about 290 of you guys voted this week on this week's Poll Friday, the best Cuse Football position group. 70% of you guys agree with me that it is the tight end room. And here's what separates the tight ends from the other position groups, right? You got the running backs, obviously really talented. And I went over them earlier this week on the podcast, right? You got LeQuint Allen as your starter. Will Nixon and Yassine Willis are really capable backup running backs. But this is why I said off the jump, Oronde Gadsden is the separator. I think the depth between the tight ends and the running backs is pretty similar. It's pretty similar, right? You know, if you want to say, you know, a Will Nixon and a Yassine Willis versus Dan Villari and Max Mang, it's pretty close. Pretty close, right? So the depth is about the same. So now you got to look at the top end. LeQuint Allen is really good. Second team All ACC last season. I got no complaints about him. He's on the Doak Walker Award watch list. In case you don't know what that is, that's for the best running back in the country in a given season. And he's on the watch list for this year. But I think Gadsden's a better player than Allen. And there's good depth behind Gadsden. So it comes down to the top end talent. Therefore, I would say the tight ends are ahead of the running backs. Now, if you feel that LeQuint Allen is the best player on the offense or the best player on the team over Oronde Gadsden, then I could see why you would say the running backs. But that's why I picked the tight ends. I think Gadsden is the best, right? Similar thing with the defensive backs. I think there's a lot of depth on it, right? You got transfer in Devin Grant. Obviously, Justin Barron is there. Elijah Clark, Deuce Chestnut, welcome back, right? He's obviously good. They're all good. The depth is about the same as it is with the tight ends, but the separator, once again, is Oronde Gadsden. Gadsden is what stands out compared to the defensive backs. So pretty similar to the running backs. That's what it comes down to. And then the other position groups, right? You got the linebackers, Marla Wax, but the depth at the linebacker room I don't think is the same as the other position groups that are listed. When you look at the defensive line, Fidel Diggs is right up there, honestly, with Oronde Gadsden for best player on the team, but they don't quite have the depth on the defensive line compared to the tight ends. You look at the quarterbacks, and it's a similar deal to defensive linemen, right? You got Kyle McCord. Obviously, he's very good, top-end talent right there. Concerns with the backups, though. So overall, taking everything into account, the top-end talent that you have and the overall depth that you have at the position, I believe that the tight end room is the best position group on the team for next season. If you disagree with me or you agree with me, leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know your thoughts on all the position groups on the team for next season and which one you think is the best. And a reminder for Poll Fridays, I propose the question every Monday afternoon, and I leave it up for about 3 to 4 days to give you guys a chance to vote. And you guys can vote at LO_Syracuse on Twitter and on the YouTube community section. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's Poll Friday. Tune in next week, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern every single week. thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, click that like button. And if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications so you know right away when I am dropping the next podcast. And everyone, take care.